Same-sex couples in Indiana may be able to get married as early as tomorrow. That's because today the U.S. Supreme Court rejected the appeals from all 5 states, including Indiana, who petitioned the court to examine the issue. News 18's Brittany TYNER joins us now from the Tippecanoe County Courthouse with more on what the ruling means for same-sex couples. Brittany?
Dan, the Supreme Court refused to hear cases from 5 states, including Indiana, seeking to keep their ban on same-sex marriage in place. And while marriage licenses in most of the News 18 viewing area were not being distributed today, representatives with Pride Lafayette say the day is still a win.
Wow, the Supreme Court is taking a stance on civil liberties, civil freedoms for everybody in the country.
That stance was taken Monday morning when the U.S. Supreme Court turned away appeals from 5 states, including Indiana, seeking to prohibit same-sex marriages. It all started in late June when a federal judge struck down Indiana's ban on same-sex marriage. In Tippecanoe County, 33 same-sex marriage licenses were issued. But soon after, a stay was granted while the decision was appealed. Last month, a U.S. appeals court ruled that same-sex marriage bans in Wisconsin and Indiana violated the U.S. Constitution. But that decision was also put on hold while the state asked the Supreme Court to intervene. Co-vice president of Pride Lafayette, Monique Hensley, says it's been a roller coaster of ups and downs.
We had a few days of, just real joy, and then suddenly we were, back in the fight.
Despite the Supreme Court's decision, marriage licenses were not being issued in Tippecanoe County on Monday. Clerk Krista Coffey says her office is waiting on a mandate from the 7th Circuit Court.
We left the programming in place that we put into effect in late June, so we are ready to go as soon as we get the clearance that the mandate's been entered.
The Supreme Court's decision affects 5 states directly, plus 6 other states which had challenges pending, which were less far along. That would make same-sex marriage legal in 30 states, plus the District of Columbia. Jeffrey BARBEE with Pride Lafayette says the fight is not over.
We will reach out to those states that are still in that 20 range that don't accept it, don't recognize it, are not as far along as we are, just as those people in other places that came before us have helped us. So it's a roller coaster that we're definitely ready for.
Again, licenses were not being issued in Tippecanoe County today, along with every other county in the News 18 viewing area, with the lone exception of Carroll County, who was issuing marriage licenses today. Now, the clerks in those counties tell News 18 they will most likely begin issuing licenses tomorrow. Reporting live from the courthouse, Brittany TYNER, News 18.
Brittany, thanks. Governor Mike Pence released a statement standing by his belief in traditional marriage. He says, while it is disappointing to many that the Supreme Court has chosen not to hear arguments on this important issue, under our system of government, people are free to disagree with court decisions, but we are not free to disobey them. Meanwhile, Greg Zeller says that defending Indiana's statute at trial and on appeal was part of his duty as attorney for the state of Indiana. He says, quote, strong opinions exist on all sides of this issue, but we continue to urge Hoosiers to show respect for the court, the attorneys, the county clerks, and the rule of law while this complicated process plays out.